To our final press conference of the day today in Austin, Texas, the last pre-first round press conference featuring Florida State University. The format will be, we will be interviews with the players will take place for 15 minutes, and they are on their way into the press conference room now. After the players speak, they will be followed for interviews with head coach Brooke Wyckoff. The student athletes that are joining us right now from Florida State, we want to welcome junior forward Michaela Timpson and sophomore guard, Tanaya Latson. Ladies, thank you for joining us. Congratulations on a great season so far.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What we're going to do is we have people who are joining us via Zoom, and then obviously the media that is here. We will take questions first from the Austin media and who are in attendance, and then if anyone on Zoom wants to ask a question, please use the raised hand format to ask your question, and we will get to them during this press conference with the student athletes. All right, the first question will be with Mark Rosner from Associated Press. Mark?
Kelly, you're used to dominating inside. They've got a little size there. What do you try to do to overcome the size?
Just play with my speed. I would say when girls are bigger than me, I have to use my speed. I can be way faster than most of the posts I've been playing against. So just using my speed to get around and being able to score buckets.
And prior to asking your question, please state your name and your affiliation, please.
Sydney Wicker, WCTV. Tanaya, you didn't get to play in the NCAA last year. Being able to be here and going through practice, how's everything been feeling? What is this journey like now that you actually get to play, not just experience it?
It feels amazing. Like you said, I didn't get to, participate last year, and I feel like this year I'm just blessed to be completely healthy. I've been feeling really good in practice, so I'm just ready to get the show on the road.
Do you have a follow-up question? All right, certainly.
Do I have to say my name again?
No, you do not have to.
Right.
Just your follow-up. Thank
Sorry,
you.
I'm trying to follow the rules.
You're good.
Michaela, for you coming into this game, I know last time we talked, you just talked about how the mission right now is to just beat Alabama. Coach said you guys really want to get a win. What has been the focus the last couple days that you guys have really talked about to be able to get a win here in round one of the tournament?
I would say just being us as a basketball team, and once we be us and we play how we play and not letting the team be able to take us out of our rhythm, that's what we don't want to cause tomorrow. And then just continue to be us as basketball players, and that's been the focus for us. We've been having great practices leading up to this day, and we just got to continue to have a great one today and then be focused for tomorrow.
And once again, before we go back to Mark Rosner at the Austin American-Statesman, I want to remind those people who are joining us on Zoom, if you do want to ask a question to the student athletes or to Coach Wyckoff, please use the raise hand function now on the screen to indicate that you'd like to ask a question, and we'll get to you momentarily. Thank you. Until then, Mark Rosner for the AP is going to ask the next question.
Yeah, you mentioned using your speed and your guile and all that. What the SEC is known for physical play. Have you noticed that about them? That that they're just physically strong and tough?
Yeah, we played two SEC teams early in the season. We played Tennessee and Arkansas. So, yes, they were bigger than us, but we was able to get the win versus Tennessee. They was a great team going. That was our first challenge that we had early in the season. But, being able to use my advantages over them. Like, sometimes you just don't have to be the strongest player, the person who worked the hardest, and being able to be able to score the ball and be who I am, just not letting anyone take me out of my game, and we'll get the win.
Again, I'm looking at the folks that are on Zoom. If you do have a question, we have a few more minutes for our Florida State players. If you want to ask a question, use the raised hand function. If not, I'll circulate back to the media that are here in Austin and ask if there are any other questions. Yes.
Michaela, for you, just looking at this year as a whole, obviously Coach Brooke has gone through a lot fighting breast cancer. You get to wear her number that she wore when she played at Florida State. To know what you guys have persevered throughout the season, to be able to cause some upsets, like you said, taking down Tennessee, and you guys were able to make a good run in the ACC tournament. Looking at the impact she's had on this program and what she's been able to do, how special is it for you to not only wear her jersey, but you guys continue to fight for her and everything that she's battled through this season?
I'll say it's very special for me being able to wear her jersey, like you said, and it means something more this year than it did my previous 2 years of wearing her jersey, just knowing that she's a great woman and she has great character, and being able to play up under her is an amazing opportunity, not only for myself but for my team as well. Like, we've been through some hard times this season, but we're able to push through and be able to fight each and every game, and being able to recognize her during Breast Cancer Awareness Month was also a special moment. So we've been enjoying this process, and we can't wait to keep going with it.
Tanaya, would you like to also comment on that?
She basically said everything. Coach Brooks, she's a strong woman, and I feel like that reflects on the team. When she broke the news to us, she didn't cry. She was in good spirits, and I felt like that gave us good spirits, even though it's a sad situation. But she pushes through, and I feel like that reflects onto us a lot, too.
Just identify yourself one more time, please.
Sydney Wicker, WCTV. I guess let's ask a fun question. They call this the big dance. Who's the best dancer on the team?
Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah.
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah.
Sarah.
Is she going to bust out the moves tomorrow on the court?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yep.
All right, do we have any other questions? We don't have any from our Zoom participants here. If not, ladies, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. And again, congratulations on your journey so far this season, and best of luck to you tomorrow in the first round.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Still online and here in Austin. Our final news conference of the afternoon will be with Coach Wyckoff, and that will begin at 4:05 p.m. Eastern. Thank you.
see you.
Pleasure. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
Have a seat. All right, folks, we are now joined by Florida State head coach Brooke Wyckoff. And again, if you're joining us on Zoom, if you want to ask a question, use the raised hand function. We will start by asking Coach just to make an opening statement, please.
Well, really, really excited to be here in Austin, to be a part of the NCAA tournament. I am so proud of our players and all the hard work that they put in this season. Through all the adversity that a team faces during the season, they were phenomenal in just keeping the focus on what was most important, continuing to battle and really finishing strong in order to be here today. So I'm excited for what's next. I'm excited about our matchups and the possibilities in March Madness. So,
all right, thank you, Coach. We're going to start here in Austin. The first question is going to come from Mark Rosner with the Associated Press. Mark?
Yeah, Timpson isn't as big as some of the players she plays against, but she led the league in blocks. She's one of the top rebounders. She scores. What is it about her, and what maybe is the challenge that Alabama presents? They've got a 6'4" kid.
Yeah, well, KK, as we call her, she is what you would probably consider undersized, I guess, for a typical center. But she doesn't allow that to slow her down productivity-wise. She averages a double-double, and as you said, is that led our conference in blocks. And so she's used to playing against size. Able to defend size, able to score on size. And so, we'll see a 6'4" center in Alabama, but that's nothing that KK hasn't seen game in and game out in the ACC. So she understands how to attack size and also to defend it. And, I'm assuming you're talking about Essence Cody, who's their starter. She'll provide us some issues. Obviously, she's a great player, and she's big. But, again, we've seen a lot of that throughout the season in the ACC, and KK's done very well. Thanks.
All right, next question. If you could just, state your name and your affiliation again. And if you have a follow-up question, feel free to ask that as well.
Sydney Wicker, WCTV. Coach Brooke, you guys are here getting settled in Austin, Texas. As you face Alabama, you talked about one of their players that presents a big challenge, but as a whole, what do you think is going to be key for you guys coming into this game?
Yeah. Well, Alabama is a very good team, obviously. They play very, very well within themselves. They don't make many mistakes. They understand their identity, and they're just a solid basketball team with some really, really good individual players. And so what I like about our matchup is that they are kind of a 4-out, 1-in team, which is similar to us, I think, personnel-wise and style of play. We match up well, and we are familiar with that type of team. They're very similar to a lot of ACC teams. But as I said, they are very talented on the offensive end. They're able to score the ball from the three-point line. All of them are very capable of getting to the basket. And then defensively, they like to create turnovers. So we'll have to be very solid with the ball on the offensive end, taking care of it, and really making sure that we're attacking in the right ways.
I know we've talked a little bit before about the ACC and the SEC battles that you guys have. I think you're 2-1 right now on the season against SEC teams. I guess, what is it that's so special about both of these conferences and the level of play that they bring to the stage?
Yeah. Well, they're just full of really talented individual players. That both conferences have amazing coaches that know the game, that are able to get the most out of their players. And so they're both very, very competitive leagues, and that's what you want. You want conferences and league play that's competitive. There's parity, that, when you're watching a matchup, anyone can win on any given night, and that's what we feel like the ACC is. There's no easy game in the ACC, and I know the SEC is very similar in that regard. So it's just a privilege to play in it. It's fun to match up with an SEC team as well in this tournament, and so I'm just excited for a good basketball game.
We're going to go back to Mark Rosner from AP. Mark?
When you were playing, did you envision becoming a coach, and did you envision coaching here? And what was your dream job when you got into coaching?
Yeah. I had no idea that I was going to coach when I was a player. And I had all kinds of plans, but luckily I believe that those plans aren't, we don't get to decide a lot of times in life, like where life goes. There's a lot of doors and windows that are open for us that we didn't expect, and that's what happened here, that I just wanted to play as long as I could, and had a few thoughts about what I would do after I finished playing, but just kind of honestly fell into coaching at the high school level, and coincidentally, and then fell in love with it. And so when this opportunity at Florida State came about, when Coach Sue Semrau, who I played for, called and said she had an opening on her staff and she was thinking about hiring me to be an assistant, I thought, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that before? That sounds absolutely amazing, because I loved coaching, and to come back and play for your alma mater, coach at your alma mater, a place like Florida State that always felt like home, always felt like family. It was a dream job. And to come back and coach and work alongside Coach Sue Semrau, who had meant so much to me as a player. When I got back, I didn't envision being the head coach, but as time went on, I mean, it was something that I certainly wanted when the time came, if that opportunity arose. So here I am, and I am so blessed and so thankful to be here representing Florida State.
All right, let's go with that question first, and then we'll come back to you, and just state your name and affiliation.
Danielle Lerner with the Houston Chronicle. I wanted to ask you about these shirts that you guys are wearing. Yeah. Who's responsible for this?
Several people. The players were the inspiration. This is kind of like that throwback look that they love to, the kids these days, as they say, love to wear. But our creative content director, who's here, Morgan Aziz, and I, and our graphic designer, Jonathan, really worked on this vision, putting this together. The phrase that kept coming to mind to me was March Magic. There's March Madness and all the things that we can talk about in March, but I want this to feel magical for our players, and there are so many magical moments that happen, and it's just been a great opportunity to frame this tournament and this time of year, just with what does it take to create these kind of moments. And we've talked a lot. We've been able to teach our players a lot of history about the women's tournament, just moments like these that are magical, both Florida State history as well as just in the NCAA in general. So just a little mix of all of that, just something fun. And luckily they got a good response. We did it. Sometimes for us old people, it's hard to know what the kids want. But we figured it out, I think, this time around. Whew.
That's great. Next question, please.
Coach, I know we talked a little bit about your playing days here a couple seconds ago. I think it's really special that Michaela gets to wear your jersey number that you wore when you were a player at Florida State. After everything you've been through, I know Michaela said that it was so awesome to watch you fight and see your strength this year, but to get to wear your jersey is something that she takes a lot of pride in. For you to see her wear the number 21 out there and wear that jersey and just know that it is extra special for her, what does that mean to you after everything that you fought through this year?
Oh, well, it's always meant so much to me that KK represents number 21 so well, and just has far exceeded anything that I could have accomplished as a player. She's still going. But just more importantly, she's a phenomenal person, and that's what I'm most proud of when I see that number on her chest. It's that she represents what we want in our program, the type of player, the type of person we all strive to be and who we want to be around. So she's humble, she's always happy, she's consistent in her attitude, and she's about the team. And so I love everything she does in that 21 jersey, and her words of supporting me, and that's who she is. And that was who she was before I went through all of this season, and who she'll always be. So it means a lot. I love KK.
Thank you, Coach. Next question, please.
Coach Brooke, with all of the
name and affiliation first, please.
Leanne Zaproni of Flow Hoops. Coach, with all of the eyes that have been on women's basketball recently, what does it mean to you to be able to lead the next generation of women's basketball players, and what do you hope to see for the future of the sport?
Yeah, it's a huge privilege to be a part of women's basketball. It always has been, but to still be a part of it, and at this time when it's exploding. And I said the other day, like what we've all always known, those of us that have been a part of women's basketball on the inside, and closely around the game. Now it's spreading. Now everybody, the casual person, everybody just knows so much about the individual players and the game, and that is what we've always wanted, is what we've always known was possible. So anyway, it's an immense privilege to be a part of it, to be able to watch my players and these players just going through and really making a name for themselves and growing the game. And that's what it's all about, because then the next generation is going to come along and it's going to be even bigger. And so I'm just so excited for it, love being here for it, and can't wait to see where it goes next.
We have time for another question or two, if there are any. I'm looking around the room. There are no questions on from our Zoom participants. So if there are no other questions, I will just say thank you for joining us today, Coach. Congratulations on all the successes so far this year for your team. Best of luck in the first round tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
And that will conclude this this pregame press conference. A recording of this press conference will be posted in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at www.ncaa.veritone.com. Thank you all for joining us today.